this video, I'm going to be talking about a topic that the ERLC community keep mentioning, and that is, are fictional cars ruining ERLC? A lot of people are saying they are. Is it true? Is it false? Let's take a look. Let's dive into it. Drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy, but let's get straight into it. Okay, so let's start off with the main reason why people are saying fictional cars are ruining the game. Maybe ruining the game is a bit of an excessive term, but people don't like them. They're not good updates, let's say that. And the first reason is, well, people want to drive their dream cars. People dream of having, you know, a McLaren like this, or even the Bugatti in the game, or even any of the other cars, maybe like the RS3 or something like that. Cars that people really want in real life, they like to drive in game. Like, for example, in my opinion, the Audi R8, I love driving in ERLC because it's my dream car in real life. And I know when they update that to a fictional model, it just won't feel the same, and it will feel nowhere near as exciting as it does now, whilst it still has the real life model. Of course, they've not had the real life names for many years. They did years ago, but obviously not anymore. And a lot of the cars have had to be changed. For example, this used to be a Lamborghini, but Lamborghini came along and said, no, we're not having it. The main reason people are suggesting this is because they want to drive their favorite cars, which is fair enough. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is actually one you might not have thought about before, but does it ruin the vibe of the game? Because it makes it less realistic. People try to be as realistic as possible, and if they don't have realistic cars, they just have cars that look really weird and funky, probably ugly in most cases as well. Does it ruin the vibe because it won't be as realistic not having any realistic cars? For example, imagine they added a completely fictional car and you're in a pursuit with it. You just have to be like, it's whatever car ERLC calls it, instead of saying, oh, I'm in pursuit with a blue McLaren. You know what I mean? It kind of changes the vibe. Now, I want to just pause here and mention that there is nothing anyone can do about this. No matter what I say in this video, and no matter what your opinions are on the topic, the developers don't have a choice. This has only happened because it has to happen. The developers agree with us that they want the realistic cars that are based off of real life cars, but unfortunately it's just not possible. With Roblox now, with copyright these days, it is impossible to get that. This has to change, because otherwise the developers will get sued, which means the game will literally have to close down pretty much. So they don't have a choice. However, they do have a choice on the way they go about doing it. For example, how much do they have to change the vehicle for it to not be copyrighted? What I do know is that they have to change the model slightly so it doesn't look like the real life version, but how much does that have to be? For example, if they changed maybe this rear part and maybe the spoiler on the McLaren, and maybe instead of 2 exhausts here they put 2 in the middle, and then maybe on the front maybe like made this black part go all the way around the front, or maybe they changed the lights to go further up there or something, is that all it takes? Because if that's all it takes, that's fine. But if they have to start coming along and completely changing the vehicle, similar to how Greenville recently did with their new Tesla Cybertruck, it looks really ugly. Is that the extent they have to take it to? Because if that's the case, that's not good, and they really do need to try and find a solution regarding that. But then again, what can they do? I don't know. But the next bad thing about this is that time is being taken away from updates. You know, the amount of time they've had to spend building all of the new cars has taken time away from things that they could have placed into other updates, such as map expansions, or, you know, Halloween updates, or whatever it may be. And it also means that they've had to add less vehicles, and instead of new vehicles getting added to the game, we've actually had replacement vehicles instead. For pretty much the most of this year, it's pretty much just been replacement vehicles. Aside from the classic cars game pass and a few here and there haven't been any new vehicles in a long time. Not many anyway. Now, the next thing I want to talk about has been a problem for many years, and it's not just ERLC directly. It happens to every single game on Roblox, but it's really hard to find the car you want to buy. For example, if I wanted, I don't know, if I wanted the Arrow Phoenix National, I have no idea what this car is called in real life, but if I knew what this car was called in real life and I really wanted it, I couldn't just type that in, and there's no way you can guess Arrow Phoenix Nationals. For example, if I wanted the Jeep, for example, if you're a new player, you have no idea that Jeep is called Overland in this game. If you wanted a Ford, you have no idea that it's called Falcon. And if you wanted a BMW, maybe BMW and BKM is kind of noticeable. But now the only real solution to this is car licenses. However, they are very expensive and they are very time consuming, and as well as that, they could make the game work in a very different way. I've mentioned this before, but in Microsoft Flight Simulator there are no crash physics on any of the aircraft. Just bear with me here. Now that's because Boeing, which is, you know, one of the main aircraft manufacturers, they don't want people crashing their planes and setting them on fire inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator, because to them that's damaging their reputation. If someone sees that, doesn't know it's Microsoft Flight Simulator, goes, oh my god, there's a Boeing on fire, Boeing 737 is on fire, and they don't know it's the game, that's very bad for Boeing's reputation. And that's pretty much the same with car licenses in some ways. If I crash this McLaren so much to the point where the engine starts smoking, just like that, McLaren might see this and go, hold on a minute, I don't want you showing everyone that plays this game that our car's set on fire. McLaren don't want this. They don't want people driving around in their cars when they're on fire, because it's damaging to their brand and damaging to their reputation. I hope you can kind of see where I am going with this, and I kind of hope you're following along. Now, we did mention car licenses. It is a possibility. Not every car brand will care so much about things like this, because it is obviously only Roblox, and even, you know, they won't care too much. But the problem is they are so expensive and it's probably not worth it. You know, I don't know how much money the ERLC game as developers or the game makes, but I assume it probably is quite a lot. Car licenses probably cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, Driving Empire is one of the most known games on Roblox for purchasing car license, and they've probably paid well over $1 million real life dollars on all of them car licenses. Now, is that worth it? You guys are gonna have to be the judge of that, but personally I don't think so. Honestly, I do not think so at all. However, whilst you may think it's completely off the tables to even think car licenses will be coming to ERLC, it's not. I did an interview with the owner of ERLC, Mr. Fergie, around 6 months ago, and you can watch that from the link in the description of this video. What he did say, I asked him about this very specific problem. What are your thoughts on the fictional cars and car licenses? Something like that. And his reply was, at that time they weren't looking at purchasing car licenses directly, but he also said if the opportunity comes around they will 100% consider it. I don't know what's changed since then. I don't know if that's got anywhere. I don't know if we're still in the same situation, but he did say they would consider it, which is a good thing and is something to note. So on that note, we will end this video here. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching this video, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.